This is your body, and this is your blood. About 5 liters of blood are circulating through your system at any given time, and you also have about 4 or 5 grams of blood sugar, of blood glucose. One scoop, 4 to 5 grams, your body's happy, your brain is happy, your body is healthy. Every single cell in your body loves glucose. But check it out, if we put just 2 scoops, so 1, 2, about 10 grams of glucose, suddenly we've got a big problem. In fact, 5 versus 10 is the difference between metabolic health and type 2 diabetes. You can start to see how challenging this can be. Here you have common sources of carbohydrates in our diets: rice, pasta, bread, approximately 40 grams of carbohydrates. And remember, it's possible that this can turn into this, but it doesn't have to. There's no need to be afraid of carbohydrates, but you do need to understand how to find balance. In this video, we'll discuss, number 1, why your body is actually very similar to your phone when it comes to energy storage. Number 2, we'll take a look at some cutting-edge at-home devices to keep track of your blood glucose and your progress in between doctor's visits. Lastly, and this is the most important thing, we'll take a look at some very simple strategies and tactics you probably haven't heard of that can change your blood glucose, improve your metabolic health in as quickly as 7 days. Hey, my name's Lucas. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a nutritional coach. I'm not a medical doctor. Please don't take this as medical advice. In fact, go see your doctor. Get full blood workup done. You want to get a hemoglobin A1C test, get a 3-month snapshot of your blood sugar. I'll put a link, a PDF link, down in the description below that you can grab. It'll give you some language to use with your doctor, some reference charts, so that when you go in to get blood work done, you're more informed. Before we jump in, one more ask of you. If you could hit subscribe down below, it really helps out the channel. So what does your body have to do with your phone? Well, your phone and my phone, these are supercomputers that we have in our pockets. They are a wonder, they are a marvel, they can do all kinds of amazing things. What they can't do is go a full day without charging. If you go to any airport in the world, you will see a man in a suit curled up on the floor next to an outlet charging up his phone because it ran out of batteries. Incredibly sophisticated device, usually doesn't even last a full day without getting topped up. Your body's very similar, incredibly sophisticated biological organism, but we can't really go a full day without recharging our batteries in the form of glucose, in the form of glycogen. Where does it all live? Your body has limited glucose stores in the same way your phone has a limited charge. Once it's full, and you can add an extra battery pack, but that's really clunky. With your body, here's what happens. We talked about 5 grams of circulating glucose in your bloodstream. That's there, but that's a very small amount. You'll go through that quickly. Our reserves for glucose are stored in our liver in the form of glycogen, about 100 grams, and then maybe around 400 grams in our lean muscle. A lot of people don't realize this, but your lean muscle has a decent amount of stored energy. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to this later on because this can be a really amazing way to improve your blood glucose metabolism. Okay, let's put this aside and let's take a look at some simple at-home testing devices that can help you understand how you're doing metabolically in terms of your blood sugar metabolism in real time at home. Almost every household in the world has one of these. This is a scale. It'll tell you how much you weigh, but that's not so interesting. If you simply put on your favorite pair of jeans and look in the mirror, most of us already know how we're doing in terms of our weight. What almost nobody has are these, which are blood glucose measuring devices. This is the most common device, this type of device, which is a finger prick device. You can buy these online. You can buy them in any pharmacy anywhere in the world. What I'd recommend you do is check your fasting blood glucose, so first thing in the morning, for a week, and see how you're doing. Ideally, you want your blood glucose to be under 100 milligrams per deciliter. I'd like you to pay special attention to times of high stress or poor sleep. Many people find that they might have healthy fasting blood glucose until they're stressed or sleep poorly, and suddenly they're in pre-diabetic range. Now this is a more modern device. This is called a continuous glucose monitor. It goes on the back of your arm. I have another video about that up here that you can watch if you'd like more information. And this measures real-time ongoing blood glucose. And the big advantage here is especially after meals. Now you can use this device after meals. It's called postprandial blood glucose. You'd want to check 1 to 2 hours after a meal. The challenge is the window is quite broad, right? 1 to 2 hours. For me, my blood glucose will spike and drop very quickly. Sometimes with this device, I'll miss it. With this device, because it's real-time and ongoing, you don't miss the spikes. You can also forget and it'll be captured. It gives you a lot more information. This is the Freestyle Libre 2. There's a version 3, which is even easier to use. The big downside is they're very expensive. They don't hurt at all. They're very safe. It syncs up to your phone, which is really great, but they are very expensive, but if you can afford it, this is a great option. The third device that I'll show you now is not an approved medical device, but they're quickly becoming available, and I think within 1 to 3 years they will be, so I'm showing you now. This device is an experimental device in beta right now, and it works without blood, which is really great. I have this because I'm curious. I have this because I like to use it with my kids and they don't like when I prick their fingers. I'm showing you this because it's very likely there will be even easier, even cheaper, even more accessible options ongoing in the future. For now, let's look at a finger prick, let's look at a CGM, and this will give you a base to work from. Just as a quick side note, many times when I make videos about testing your blood glucose, people assume that I have somehow taken these devices from hospitals or that diabetics are suffering. That's not how it works. These devices are medical devices, yes, but they're made by private companies, for-profit companies. And there's no shortage of these devices. You can buy them anywhere. And two good things happen when non-diabetics buy these devices. Number one, we prevent diabetes, which is great. And number two, the prices go down. And so this device in particular costs about half of what it cost when I first purchased it. And that's because people like you and me, non-diabetics, proactive with our health, purchase these devices. So what do we do with all this information? We've learned that excess blood glucose can lead to weight gain, but also all of the degenerative illnesses. So we want to manage that. Well, maybe you've checked your fasting blood glucose and realized 2 or 3 days per week you're up into the danger zone. Maybe 1 or 2 meals per week, you're also seeing that Matterhorn mountain spike and you'd like to do something about it. The good news is there are very simple changes you can make that'll have an impact almost immediately. Definitely within a few days or a week, you'll start to notice some differences if you're tracking. Here's what you can do. Number one is fiber first. When you're eating a meal, make sure you start with a green salad or a veggie plate. That could be chopped cucumbers, chopped celery, tomatoes, carrots. A green salad is an obvious choice. Fiber will help to slow down the glucose absorption in your system and you'll avoid those big spikes. Vinegar has been proven to also slow down blood glucose absorption. And what that means is by adding a tablespoon or 2 of vinegar to those vegetables, to that salad, you can again amplify that effect. Very simple concept. Remember before we looked at the rice and the pasta and the bread. Think about how your grandmother would have served those. She never would have served those alone. That would have been carbohydrates balanced with protein and probably some type of fat on top, whether that was a sauce or a gravy or something else. This ancient wisdom still holds true. When you eat carbohydrates with fat, protein, and fiber, it really slows down the absorption of those sugars. The next thing that most people don't realize is we can improve our ability to absorb sugar. How would this be? Think about that phone analogy from before. Remember when your phone dies, very often it's the battery that dies, and you might even upgrade your whole phone just to get a new battery. With your body, you don't have to get rid of your body, but you can upgrade the battery by improving your lean muscle metabolic health, its insulin sensitivity. In 1999, there was a study of cyclists, and I'm not talking about hardcore cyclists. This is a very simple study where they trained on a stationary bike 3 days a week, and within 10 weeks, participants were able to increase their glycogen stores in their lean muscle by about 50%. These studies have been repeated and pretty predictably show 40 to 50% gains in your glycogen storing ability, which means the exact same muscles you have now, the exact same body you have now, it's like upgrading the battery in your phone. Suddenly, you can handle more carbohydrates without creating that metabolic dysregulation that plagues so many of us. What does that mean for you? Resistance training, if you like it, lifting weights, body weight exercises, and also aerobic training, especially light aerobic work, which leads into my final recommendation. After you eat a meal, especially a big meal, moderate, mild activity within about 30 minutes makes a massive difference in terms of controlling your blood glucose. That could be walking the dog. That could be a gentle, not an athletic, but a gentle stroll around the neighborhood. The results of this are very predictable. I'd encourage you to use one of those testing devices we talked about earlier to check it out and see for yourself, but you'll notice an impact right away. When you think about your blood glucose, think in terms of quarters or every half year. When you go back to your doctor every 6 or 12 months and get a blood test, that A1C number hopefully is slowly and steadily creeping down into the metabolically healthy ideal range. Hope you found this video helpful. Please hit subscribe down below to support the channel. Remember to grab the PDF in the description down below for some reference charts and language to use with your doctor. If you have any questions, comments, or experience with any of these devices or things that have helped or not worked for you, love to hear from you in the comments. You can find my full teaching calendar online at YOGABODY.com, and if you'd like to train with me, you'll find a program called YOGABODY Daily right on my homepage. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.